If you enjoy the video, please consider subscribing to the channel, cause if you do, my scout car won't puncture its tire. In this video, we'll be looking at the pre-retail D2_Coast maps. Of course, there are more maps such as from E3 2003 and other test maps, but we'll stick to D2_Coast maps to keep the video simple. So, without further ado, let's begin. D2 Coast 01 begins from the Shore Point base. The whole concept of the base is like how it is in the retail game, but the appearance is different. The weather looks overcast, cloudy, with the textures looking different as well. We get in the scout car and, as always, the magnets fail and we drop upside down to the ground. Now, I'm not a man who looks into the details, so I'm not sure what's different in this map. Like, what props or models or textures are different, so I can't tell you what exactly changed. But from what I saw, the layout was the same, just the textures were different. But anyway, we make our way to D2 Coast 02. D2 Coast 02 is similar to the retail version as well, quite a bit of it. There might have been some minor differences. For example, there's no combine soldiers that we meet in the middle of the map. Also, there's no grass, so that's why the whole coast/highway maps have next to no greenery at all. It gives it a brownish feel to the whole map, rather than a diverse, color-saturated one. Most of the houses I remember were there as I expected them to be, but there was this weird natural structure made out of dirt or stone that caught my eye. I'm not entirely sure what it's supposed to be. Maybe it has something to do with the antlions. It kind of reminded me of a cut enemy that I can't remember the name of. It had a similar appearance to this and was found in the cut wasteland levels. Comment below if you know what I'm referring to. Then we end up at New Little Odessa. Of course, there's no Odessa. We did have Odell, but he was cut. So instead we get the RPG from this rebel. As we talk to him, a gunship approaches the base and the battle ensues. Something to note is that the building in which the rebel was cut. The actual building that serves as the base for Odessa still stands, but it's of no use here. It's a secondary building or something. We take down the gunship and make our way to D2 Coast 04. The thing is, there is a Coast 03 in the leaked files, but it's not used. But rather than going to 04, let's quickly take a look at 03. So this is D2 Coast 03. I don't recall seeing this place in the retail game, so I'm assuming it was entirely cut. But I figured they wanted this place to be something like a transition area from the New Little Odessa area to the Dock 137 area. It has a lot of antlions in it and a gunship. The rest of it isn't that special. But at the end, you can see a crane right beyond the level change area. Keep that crane in mind. We'll see it again soon. So, once Coast 02 ends, Coast 04 begins. This is the Dock 137 section. It's pretty much similar to the retail game, but the major difference is that it starts from the opposite end of the area. Instead of coming out of the inland, we approach it from the shore. The crane is still here, the combine too. Also, there's 2 civilians here. The way this section plays out is pretty much the same as the retail game. However, the tunnel at the end has some lights in it rather than being pitch black. So at the end of Coast 04, we move on to Coast 05, but let's deviate again and see where Coast 03 wanted to take us. So once Coast 03 ends, we move on to D2 Coast 04 DX60. That's the map that I think would have played out after Coast 03. Remember that crane we could see at the end of Coast 3? Well, here it is. Basically, Coast 04 DX60 is the Dock 137 section as well, but it's much more bare bones. I think it might have been an earlier or an alternate version of the Dock 137 section. The map is also cordoned. I'm not technical with mapping, but as far as I know, that's the thing that's making the map and its geometry clip in and out. Anyway, it's the same routine as before. The crane is there, but we don't have a car, so I'll have to continue on foot. There weren't a lot of combine soldiers either, but there was an invisible gunship that kept shooting at me. Again, the cordoned effect is keeping that gunship invisible. At least, that's what I think. If you're technical with the Hammer editor, let me know what's going on. The 2 buildings on the hill were significantly different as well. And at the end, we see a familiar tunnel. So, Coast 04 ended in a tunnel and Coast 05 begins in one. This map is the petroleum station area. This was pretty much like the retail, apart from the different models and textures. We fight off the combine, open up the gates, and make our way to Coast 07. But let's deviate again for the final time. Let's take a look at Coast 06, which isn't even in the retail game. So, the map is called Coast 06, but from what I've read on the internet, it's supposed to be a compiled / unfinished version of Coast 05. I'm not sure, but it is very primitive looking. There's nothing at all apart from the road that stretches on for miles. I kinda like this weird map. The unfinished state of the map is somewhat intriguing to think about. So, let's recap quickly. We moved from Coast 05 to Coast 07. Bridgepoint. My most favorite area, most memorable area from the retail game. As you can see, it's mostly the same but with texture and model differences. However, there's no train tracks on the top, rather it's a road. What we need to do is go under the bridge, open up the gates up top so we can move on with our scout car through it. Under the Bridge, or Coast 08, plays out like it does in the retail game. The layout is like the retail as well. We move on from platform to platform, railing to railing, open up the gate, and then a gunship approaches the underside of the bridge. I tried to shoot it down with the RPG, but the laser guidance system bugged out. I couldn't aim, so I just ran away. Back on Coast 07, we get in the car and proceed towards the end. After this, the prison chapter would have started, which we now know as Nova Prospect. Like I said earlier, there are more maps related to the coast, but those ones we'll look at on another day. And there you have it. That was Highway 17, or rather, the coast maps from the Half-Life 2 beta. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.